everyone. This is Joy from Conservative Ladies of Washington, and I hope that you had a very, very happy, joy-filled holiday season with family and friends. And I hope that today's video just adds to that extra joy, because today I'm bringing you a 3-pack of good bills filed this last week by Senator Jim McCune. I'm going to call it a 3-pack because it's Senate Bill 5134, 5135, and 5136. I'm going to dive right in so you get all of the important information on these bills. First of all, Senate Bill 5134 would mandate that school districts have activities and teach curriculum that shed a light on the important contribution that Chinese American immigrants and Americans of Chinese descent have made here in Washington state. You would see a shift in the existing law, which simply suggests that they do this. Instead, it would make it mandatory. One of the great things is it would start right away. September 1st, 2025, school boards would need to develop a curriculum and a way to fold this into social studies. And they would be working with the nonprofit Washington State Historical Society to develop a free curriculum. There is no financial burden here for school districts or parents. And you'd be working with a nonprofit that is respected and known as a solid historical authority here in Washington state. It would be a way to study the Chinese Exclusion Act, and also regional events like the Tacoma Method, where the Knights of Labor worked with the Tacoma mayor to expel the Chinese community in 1885. These are important regional events that need to be highlighted and remembered so that we don't repeat history. Chinese Americans have a rich history here in Washington state. And if you've studied any American history, you know that Chinese immigrants were pivotal in helping us get our railroad built so that people could even easily come out here to Washington and make a life out here. So it allows local school boards to customize this curriculum and mention regional or local events, recognize regional or local Chinese Americans or Americans of Chinese descent that should be remembered and celebrated. I like this. Another reason that I like this bill is it's going to be a chance for Democrats, if they refuse to let this go to a hearing and let people speak on this, are going to show their racism and not wanting to recognize the important and rich culture that Chinese Americans have played here in Washington is pretty bold. So at least let this have a hearing and let us talk about the importance of making this a set law in Washington state as part of our social studies curriculum. The next one is Senate Bill 5135. This will codify local control over curriculum, which it should be for the school boards, the school board of directors. And it specifically would amend RCW 28A.150.230 to reinforce that the board of directors have authority over educational policy, curriculum, staff evaluation, and performance criteria. It would repeal RCW 28A.300.475, which previously mandated comprehensive sex ed in schools, which was passed by referendum measure number 90 in November of 2020. Now, we all know that the way that particular situation played out was difficult. We spoke up. I know CLW was very active. Many parents, even teachers spoke up, and the will of the people was not honored. And as a result, we have comprehensive sex ed, and it needs to go. And this is the way to do it. You elect your school board directors at the local level to represent you. The state should not be meddling in that. They don't know the specific needs of every single school district. This would maintain that control as it should be, as parents want it to be. Because frankly, if the state tells our school boards what to do, why are we even having local elections, right? That's why we do that, because we want people who represent us to be on our school boards. Senate Bill 5136 You may have heard of this bill before. It protects the rights of parents and guardians by requiring the use of a student's given name in public school. It's also called the Given Name Act. This is a very important bill. This is one that Julie Barrett had a key role in. She brought it to the attention of Senators Patton and McCune last year, the first time that they filed this bill. This bill guarantees a child their most important right, to be a child, to be respected and honored as the boy or the girl that they were born to be, and not have the influence of adults' politics pushed on them. No one knows how confusing it is, except the parents who are living it, to watch a child try to maintain two identities. The one that's pushed on them and encouraged at school, and their natural identity, the one that they were born with as. The school district should not be meddling in that, and the government certainly should not ever have a say in that for our children. It adds a new section to RCW 28A.320. Specifically, the new section would read, in order to protect the rights of children. That is, to me, in addition to parental rights, the rights of the individual child are just as important and should be protected. The rights of children, families, and teachers to maintain order in K12 public schools. The legislature enacts the following provisions, notwithstanding the model policies and procedures required under RCW 28A.642.080. An employer contractor may not use a name to address a student other than the name listed on the student's birth certificate or derivatives thereof without written permission of a student's parents or guardian. So, parents need to be involved in this. If their children are struggling with their identity, the first people that need to be part of this equation are the parents and guardians. If it is determined by professionals, not by politics, that a parent or a guardian is somehow making their child unsafe, respond accordingly. You don't assume parents are bad and then make them prove themselves not bad. You assume that they're good and want to be involved until you are given evidence, concrete evidence to the contrary. The other part of this law that I love, especially as a former teacher, is that there are some protections for teachers mentioned in this law as well. It provides some protection against districts or schools who try to force the use of chosen pronouns, specifically stating, quote, a public school or school district may not require an employee or contractor to use a pronoun that does not match a person's biological sex if contrary to the employee's religious or moral convictions. If you know a good teacher trying to stick it out in the trenches who's being forced to do this kind of thing, please share this bill with them. There's hope. There is someone willing to speak for them if they are afraid to speak up. Make sure that they see this. Show this to other teacher friends. Show them that there is someone holding the line for them. Even when other Republicans frankly aren't. It isn't just the Democrats. So what do we do now? How do we keep this going? How do we build this momentum? Number one, follow and subscribe to all the different ways that you can stay in touch with Conservative Ladies of Washington. Subscribe to our Substack. You will get instantaneous updates on important bills and matters that impact you directly right at home. Secondly, reach out to Senator Jim McCune. Thank him for being the kind of senator who stands for something when no one else will. It doesn't matter if these bills ever become law, because what mattered most is someone had the courage to file them. Tell him thank you. And then reach out to your representatives, your legislators, your state senators, and tell them to vote yes on these bills. Encourage them to be part of the process to help them get hearings so that the public can be heard on these three bills. And then show up when these bills get a hearing and testify. And if you need a senator to adopt you to be a good senator who stands for your values, I can tell you personally that Senator Jim McCune is your guy. He is wonderful to work with. He stands for the people, and he stands on principle even when it's difficult. I hope that these three pieces of legislation add to the darkness, maybe shed a little light. And if you have any questions, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to joy@conservativeladiesofwa.com. Have a great day.